Shane today.
And that's why, I think he knows it himself, and that's why he rushed so strongly into the first turn. Keogh's moved to fourth. Brooks burst through to fifth. Ahead of Bridewell. Richard Cooper makes a splendid start. Stuart Easton has broken through to eighth place with Dan Linfoot in ninth. So look, Kianari and Brooks have got themselves in quite handy positions right off the start,
yeah,
James.
And you know what?
Impressive.
Yeah, well, certainly Brooks needed to do that. Kianari was starting from the second row, but Hopkins third row. And, Brooks from third row. And he needed a start. He's got a start. He's got
his teammate Tommy Bridewell behind him. So this beautiful sunshine, perfect weather here at Brands Hatch this Sunday afternoon as the three Kawasaki's lead the way. BMW in fourth place, Yamaha in fifth. Yeah, the track temperature is climbing. It's in low 40s at the minute. The sun's been on it a little while. So most of the grid on the SC0 softer of the rears. As Ellison has a little bit of a look down the outside. That definitely won't work there, but at least he's letting Shane know that he's still there. We're going to have a look at the inside. This might work. This might work. And it has. He's gone wide though, has Ellison. And that was, do you know, that was a little lucky for Ellison because he got up the inside cleanly and then Shaneburn kind of leaned on it a little bit and that meant that he went in too tight and he had to run wide mid-corner. Unlucky for Ellison, that. Stoker's having a look at his teammate. Oh dear, if they bash one another around like that, then Shaky will say thank you very much and he can take off at the front.
And that's what they've got to be careful of. You don't want to be giving Shaneburn any time on his own at all, especially at Brands Hatch. He'll be away with this. Stoker's
the threat is Kianari, James. I think Kianari is finding something here on race day.
I would love to think that. You know, and this job is all about confidence. A lot of road racing is what's in your mind and how confident you are with how much grip you've got and feeling safe on a bike at these kind of speeds. And if Kianari's got anything from his win at Knockhill and pushing with Shaneburn in the second race as hard as it was, well, it is confidence.
So the first of the red and white machines there in fourth place on track is the build-based BMW of the three-time British Superbike champion Yuichi Kianari. It's been a long time coming, but he's now getting back to something like his formidable best. As we watch James Ellison once in, well, he's not going to get underneath Stoker there because Walker is one thing, if nothing else, he's a late breaker. And he keeps that second place as they go up Halewood Hill. Walker, what a remarkable... Oh, look, Kianari is thinking about getting around the outside of the Kawasaki's round Druids. That's confidence, James.
It's a bit foolhardy, really, because it cannot work. It can't work, and the risk you take is if you lean on somebody too much and they go down, you're going to get collected anyway as a matter of course, so you've got to be a little bit careful doing that.
I'll just reword what I said. That's misplaced confidence then, James.
No, it actually is an indication that Kianari is confident, and it's good to see.
Charging down, it's cost him a bit of time somehow. He's actually lost a bit of a gap by challenging round the outside. He's opened up a gap between himself and those three Kawasaki's. And Walker's not ashamed to have a go at this. Chris Walker, 42 years young. I think he's been inspired by a visit to Tavullia, the hometown of the home village of his hero, Valentino Rossi, while he was on holiday in Rimini briefly with his family.
Here comes Ellison, not going to work. I've been to Tavullia myself, like I say, hometown of Valentino Rossi. He actually owns a little kind of a Rossi souvenir shop next to his own pizza place. You can go and have a pizza at Rossi. He wasn't working in the back. I expected him to be working behind the counter. And I've got to say, the pizza was very nice, but really expensive.
It ought to be nice.
It was about 15 quid for a margarita, and that's dear, that.
I think up Hawthorne Hill, on to the fourth of 19 laps. Fascinating things happening. Dan Linfoot, as if to celebrate John Murphy's birthday. And that's his barrel.
That's Barry Bull, and he's lost it early on. He'll be all right. I think he'll be all right.
I think he's gone in pretty hard.
He has.
It looks to me like he's taken a bang.
The rector cell fencing, the large sort of dark-coloured sort of bag type things, that is really soft form. I've had a bit of experience whacking into that myself, and it is good stuff. That will save you.
Looked for a moment as if he'd gone under it or through it.
The danger you've got there, Jack, is if the bike goes in before you and bounces out of the way, and that's what might have happened. Or if you hit the bike, bouncing back out of it. Safety car's out, and that is for that Barry Burrell incident.
The safety car's out, but Barry Burrell, who already, remember, was wrestling with a dislocation of the left shoulder suffered when he was out mountain biking. Here he goes, loses the WD-40 bike early.
I tell you what, you know, something might have gone wrong with that bike. That looked to me like it seized. The back wheel was completely locked up, and that would be really unusual.
James, I truly think the bike did what you said. It went in first,
and
it
come
burst
back out,
the backs off.
At that point, you need to be really lucky, because if you hit your bike on the fairing or on the tank, you've got a chance. But if you hit a handlebar or a footrest or any of the sort of pointy metal bits, you've got an issue.
So the safety car out on the 5th lap of 19. The order of riders on track at the moment is Byrne, Walker, Ellison, Chianari, Brooks, Bridewell, Lynn Foote, who's just set the fastest lap of the race, 1:27.121. Really on it, the North Yorkshireman, ahead of Richard Cooper, Stuart Easton, Howie Mainwaring Smart, Jakob Smerts, Kirkham, Hickman, Waters and Muff. John Hopkins through to 17th place.
Now watch this. Now watch yellow and blue bike in the back of the shot, and watch it now. Look, it starts to lock up and it stays locked. I am fairly convinced that that bike seized, or the clutch broke, or the gearbox locked, or there was some issue other than the inputs of Barry Burrell there. I think he's a bit unlucky. I think it seized. I think that's a machine fault, not a Barry Burrell incident, that, or fault.
So Shaky Byrne then leads out on track. Walker and Ellison running second and third. Chianari a threatening presence in fourth. Brooks and Bridewell, of course, can close the gap now that they've just opened up in front of them in fifth and sixth.
Also, Dan Linfoot was right behind Brooks and Bridewell, who had, like you said, to get on the back of those two riders, had set the fastest lap. We've said loads of times before where he's from, North Yorkshire, but we've also said that he's a quick lad. And what Dan needs to be doing now is figuring out some kind of plan. Obviously, it's dependent on what everybody else does when the safety car comes in, but he could really benefit from this situation, could Dan Linfoot.
So tension in the garages. Paul Bird, the owner of Paul Bird Motorsport there, the Rapid Solicitors Kawasaki boss.
Yeah, if you get a chance to look at his shoes, he's just got some new deck shoes, and hey, they're bright colours.
That won't be so critical as it would on the other corner. We see the license still flashing. Yes, the license is on.
Bodily shapes of all kinds and variations here being exposed in the warm sunshine at Brands Hatch. It's here for everybody to enjoy.
Yeah, it's a big crowd, and the reason people like coming to Brands is the Indy part of the circuit is like just a beautiful natural amphitheatre, and you can see pretty much everything from of the Indy part of the circuit from anywhere you stand, and it's brilliant. It really is. It's
and then when you go out in the country here, then on the inside there you can see people standing on raised grass banks, and you get wonderful views of areas all the way around.
You do, but what you tend to get there is something where you're really close and it's quite scary and dramatic, but you don't tend to see them for as long as you do in the sort of Indy part of the city. It is good out back. I know you like going watching out the back.
I like the scary and dramatic.
Yeah, you're a man of the country as well. You like to be in the woods, don't you, running about?
So we're on the 6th lap of 19 then. I'm hoping for the best for my fellow County Durham lad, Barry Burrell there, because that was a heavy impact he took when he went down into an unusual accident to happen on the way into Druids.
I'm convinced that it wasn't his fault. That was a machine problem, and I'm also fairly convinced that I think he's going to be all right. He was moving his legs, moving his feet, so, you know, touch wood, Barry's all right.
And this is where things begin to back up, of course. The safety car goes in. So Shaky Byrne backs everybody up and then goes for it.
Yeah, but you can't overtake till after the start and finish, so they've got to stay line of sight, which they would have done anyway on that start. Keogh's looking to capitalise on this.
All of those on the overrun, they sound fabulous going over the top of Paddock Bend.
Yeah, what they've got is various systems that stop the back end blocking up so much with the engine braking into the corners. Ways of doing that, electronic, you can do it with the butterflies on the injection system, or you can do it by bleeding air into the manifold, and that's what you can hear, that little popping. That's the overrun popping. It sounds like you've got a broken exhaust and it's sucking air through the exhaust, but it isn't. That's air being bled into the manifold.
Byrne, Walker, Ellison, Kianari, Brooks, Bridewell, Linfoot, Cooper, Mainwaring, Smart. Howie Mainwaring Smart, having had that dreadful shoulder injury pre-season testing at Snetterton. This is the first time he's really come back relatively fit and putting in a really strong ride on the second Quattro Plan bike. Disappointing start for Jakob Smerts. Cooper was really looking to try and nail a good result on the Ducati. He feels he just needs the one good result for the breakthrough, James.
And I actually feel that the rules have slightly changed, not in favour of the Ducati, but to try and give the Ducati something else. They can now run slightly lighter pistons, and that's just give them a little bit of an edge over where they were before. The bike is more competitive. However, when competition is this close, you can't afford not to make a start, and Jakob, bless him, never seems to get off the line.
We just caught a glimpse there as we see Walker once again look underneath the leg-waving shaky Byrne, and again the Yamahas, James, don't quite seem to have the pace. Bridewell running 5th and 6th behind Brooks.
I would agree.
Just not quite working.
I would agree. Now then, Kianari there, the red and white BM in 4th place, is now really harrying James Ellison. What he's actually doing is letting him know that he's there. He's pushing the front wheel, and take that. That was Brooks and Bridewell. That was a big hit. If we see that again, watch the two Yamaha teammates having a right set to going on to the bottom straight there.
And it's pushed them both back a place. They've both lost out places. Linfoot is now through into that 5th place, and poor Brooks has been nudged all the way back to about 8th.
Yeah,
Richard Cooper's in there as well,
with quite a lot of help from his teammate Bridewell at that point.
I didn't see what happened. Here we go, James.
Yeah, this is it. Look. So look, just watch it there. Look.
Oh.
They actually touched, and yeah, at a point of the track where you don't really want to be doing that.
And that gave both Dan Linfoot and Richard Cooper an opportunity to get right in amongst them. So now the Kawasaki's are in the mix properly with those Yamahas.
Right. Well, number 4, Dan Linfoot, man in the front of the shot there. We've talked about him enough. Now this is his chance. He's got clear track. He's got a fast man in front of him to catch. He looked like he had the pace after setting the fastest lap in the first part of this race. Well, we'll see what he's made of now, won't we? Because he has chance.
And he said he wanted to get into that top 5 and get the opportunity to run with the fast men. And as you say, perfect opportunity.
Yep.
Into Druids. We're on the 9th of 19 laps already. Oh, and Dan Linfoot's way wide.
Yeah, absolutely.
Collects it back, though, because Richard Cooper dived through inside Bridewell.
Watch Ellison. I think he's gone under his teammate now. He has. He's got past Walker. And now, I'll tell you what, Kianari will be really, really keen to get past Walker, because I think you are dead right. I think that of the leading 4, I think it's Kianari who's possibly got the best pace there, if he can get past.
Surging down Pilgrim's Drop, up Hawthorns Hill. Here comes Kianari, the 3-time champ. Oh, he goes wide, and Walker wastes no time at all, adopts motocross tactics and just punches his way back through.
It's funny, but you know, from on board a bike, when you see somebody going under you have an idea, based on how fast they're going, whether they're going to do that, and you just position yourself ready to take advantage. Walker was ready for that every time.
The Yamahas have been nudged back by both Dan Linfoot and Richard Cooper. So Cooperman having a splendid ride on the Anvil higher tag racing bike. He's now pushed through ahead of those two of Sean Muir's Yamaha. Not having the best of days just now. Here we go. This is Ellison trying to get alongside the Rapid Solicitors Kawasaki, but it constantly lives up to its name along the straight.
Yeah, we're already on lap 10 of 19, so we're above half distance now. It's gone quick.
Into Druids, 40-mile-an-hour second gear right-hander, waving a leg goes Shane Byrne. Linfoot again goes drastically wide at Druids.
Do you know what he's doing? He knows he's got the opportunity now, and he's pushing on a little bit too much, and it's so easy at Druids to go in there a little bit quick. It's a bit choppy mid-corner, and it's really easy to lose the front end. It's the easiest corner in British racing to crash on, is that? Easy.
Fastest lap of the race, Ellison, 1:27.072 to close the gap on the race leader. So James now almost getting alongside these fella Kawasaki rider. They've got to be fairly evenly matched, these two, haven't they? Just machine-wise, James.
Yeah, absolutely.
You can see that Linfoot, though, is clawing his way in. He's riding at the same pace as these guys.
Absolutely, yeah. And I think he can ride quicker. He just needs to settle down and not make as many mistakes. But that's an easy thing to say from where we're sat, Jack. It's not so easy when you're sat on the bikes.
James, I jumped then because momentarily Ellison's front wheel seemed to fall across that crest into Sheen Curve, and that just looks so terrifying.
Well, to be fair, you know, that up at Sheen Curve, particularly this meeting, I think there's something going on with the surface. It's not really slippy, but it is a little bit slippy than the corners around it. We've seen a few people lose the front end, Josh Brooks, but others have done it as well this weekend.
Here's Kianari, this time stabs his way beneath Chris Walker. He's got to hold his line going through Paddock Hill Bend, because Walker's going to come striking back up the inside at Halewood and try and go underneath him. Keogh says no, chops across the front of the Nottinghamshireman's front wheel.
Do you know, of Keogh and of Walker, the pair of them are probably the safest people out there as far as overtaking goes. You know, for all Stalker looks like he's all elbows and a bit of sort of rush about him, he isn't. He's a really safe rider now, he's Walker, and so is Kianari.
Kianari having brought BMW their first race win in BSB a couple of weeks ago at Knockhill, straining to do it again. 127.13 for Byrne, 127.2 for Ellison on the last lap. It matters not really, they're right there nailed together. But shaky Byrne, how often have we seen this classic domination by the man from Sittingbourne? He's the very local man who, of course, won his first ever race of his career as a relatively elderly 18-year-old right here at Brands 18 years ago.
Yeah, and you know, of the two leaders of Ellison and Byrne, they are the two riders out there who are happiest sat at the front on their own.
Yes.
They're both able to set their own pace, which tends to be a really quick pace on their own, and a lot of riders can't do that.
These two cross the line now then onto their 12th lap of 19. We're virtually at 2/3 race distance. Kianari, that BMW carries him so fast. Well, 27.031, fastest lap of the race for Kianari on the red and white BMW as Gary Mason enters the pits on the Anvil Higher Tug Racing Kawasaki. But his teammate, again, Ellison, he just needs to do that a little more forcefully, James.
That'll work, his mate. Oh, he hasn't. I'll tell you what, that's as brave as I've seen Ellison ride in a long time. He wasn't having any of that. And it's actually cost Kianari more time than Ellison. Here comes Ellison. What a run he's having. Brilliant. You just feel with Ellison, if you could just make him hold his breath a little second longer, he'd get through any problem. But, like I say, it's not so easy from when you sat on a bike, and you know that a lot of times you're so close to crashing. In fact, for a lot of the race, you're almost crashing a lot of the time, and you're riding on quite a knife edge, and so it's not so easy. It's easy for us to say, just pass it, but it just isn't that easy when you're sat on a bike, especially when it's got over 200 horsepower. These things, I know I've said it before, but I get to ride these bikes, and I'm a little bit out of touch. It's long. Oh, here we go. He's going around the outside. It's a long way around. It might have worked.
It might just work. Can he keep it on around the outside into Paddock Hill?
No,
Shaky's going to unnerve him. And here comes Kianari. Kianari takes a charge up the inside. Can he make it stick up Halewood Hill?
Yes, he will. He definitely will. He definitely will.
Keogh through to second. Now then, can he challenge Shaky? We are back to Knockhill 2 weeks ago.
I feel a little bit sorry for Ellison there because he had a little bit of go around the outside. It wasn't actually going to work. The idea there would be to go on the outside of Paddock Hill and cut and get a good run up there into Druids. But that just benefited Kianari, unfortunately, for Ellison.
So, Yuichi Kianari, the man who was the first ever pupil at the Suzuka Road Racing School when it opened back in 1991 as a kid.
And you know what? He didn't even want to do it. His dad made him go.
But it was the only reason he was remotely agreeable because he so hated the motocross his dad had been making him do up till then. So he thought it can't be any worse.
But you know what? Whatever hobby Yuichi wanted to pursue himself that his dad wasn't having any of, you can actually see that, because in the paddock, for me, he's a brilliant bike racer, but he doesn't come across as one. No. And if you met him in a bar, which he wouldn't be in anyway, because he's not into that sort of thing, it just doesn't seem like a bike racer.
I honestly could make a case for half the field out here, actually.
Yeah.
Ellison, I beg your pardon, Byrne and Chianari across the line now. Keo's going to make an early move, wasting no time. The build-based BMW thrusts its way through and grabs the advantage on the 14th of 19 laps.
And did you see how Chianari went wide a bit mid-corner, but still managed to hold it? That's what you've almost got to do. If you're overtaking a back marker, dead easy, but if you're overtaking somebody at the pace of Byrne, he's no mug, and to get past him, you've almost got to go too fast for that corner. Do you understand? So he managed that really well, Nick Chianari, I've got to say. But he does.
Yuichi Chianari, of course, during that tempestuous couple of years in World Superbikes 2008-2009, he did the double here at Brands Hatch. He did the double at Donington Park. He's always reserved his very best results for here on UK soil.
And I can tell you that Shane Byrne,
shaky.
Yeah, he's not willing to sit behind him. He knows they've got other company as well in the form of Ellison, who's going quick. So Byrne would much rather be out front.
And Tommy Bridewell's disappeared. Tommy Bridewell on one of the Milwaukee Yamahas has retired. Now that quite drastically affect things in that top six, because Bridewell running in fourth place with 88 points. He's got and Chianari thinking about that moving to Stirling's.
It's really difficult here, Brands. One corner leads into another, and especially that section, the sort of Sheens into Stirling's. If you've got to run a line, you're almost unable to go even as quick as the person you're trying to overtake. You know, it's not easy to pass here. Any passers can see that. Did you see that? And you know, over that bump when the rear leaves the ground, you've got to let your front brake off, because otherwise it'd keep coming off the ground. That running wide at Druid started at Paddock Hill.
So now he's got to get back and see how much air there was under that rear wheel.
Yeah.
Well, Byrne, Chianari, Ellison, Walker, Linfoot, but here comes Keo again. Oh, and he's trying to force his way underneath at the left-hander, not quite making it. James, what's great about this is absolute cut and thrust.
Do you know that when Chianari does that, knowing him as we know him, when he goes under somebody and then thinks better of it, you can almost hear him saying, "Very sorry, sorry." You know,
after you.
Such a nice lad he is. He apologises even before he's done anything, just gets one in the bank when he meets you. Sorry, it's all right, you haven't done anything.
Linfoot's doing as you required of him, by the way, James. He's riding the same pace as Walker and consistently just running behind these guys in a kind of bubble of his own in fifth place.
Yeah.
But it was that top five that he wanted to penetrate, so, you know, it's working.
Yeah, I mean, we talked about Linfoot. Well, we've got time. Oh, no, we won't bother, because we've got action here at the front.
And this is Chianari once again. He goes right up, almost kisses the rear wheel of that Kawasaki before
he's got to go wide a mid-corner. He tries to hold it on the outside and get a good run up into Druids, and he has. This time that's worked. If he gets it stopped now and makes the apex, it's worked, and it has. That's worked. Has it?
Shaky backing the Kawasaki in. He was so desperate to find that apex and try and grab the advantage back.
I think that at this point, Chianari thinks if he can have a lap, I think if he gets a lap on his own, he thinks he can pull away from Shane Byrne. I think because otherwise you wouldn't necessarily be just batting away like he is.
Chianari from Saitama in northern Tokyo, who's, remember, a man of vast experience. He was first thrust into MotoGP in 2003. Imagine how overwhelmed he was by that experience as a substitute rider. And Chianari, since then, of course, British Superbikes, World Superbikes, Suzuka 8 hours, which he's won about 4 times, a remarkable record.
I'll tell you what, you know, Shane Byrne is definitely quicker round the long part through Westfield and Dingle, Dell and Sheens. It's definitely Shane Byrne that's got the pace, I'll tell you. And it's definitely Chianari who looks to have the pace on the Indy part of the circuit, you know, like clearways and then start and finish into Paddock Hill.
So this is where he ought to be able to make that advantage count then. Look, Chianari slams the BMW into the arena now. And he's been quick down the Brabham Straight, out of clearways and into Paddock Hill.
What I've seen there at clearways, you know, he runs it really deep mid-corner, and then it's difficult at that point to get it back. As a rider, it's almost impossible as the track drops away from you to get it back to a late apex. But he manages to do it every time, does Keo.
This is John Hopkins. John Hopkins up to 10th place on the Taiko Suzuki number 21 from the back of the grid after having that gear selection problem before we got underway. He's just past the main wearing smart. He's right behind the second rapid solicitors Kawasaki of number 5, Stuart Easton.
Yeah, he's not going to be behind him long though, Jack, I'll tell you. Man, he's not going to go much further forward than this with 2 laps to go. There's a big gap of about 4 seconds in front of Easton now.
And the other guy who's moved forward, James, Jakob Smerts. Kuba's forced the Ducati Panigale through the 7th place ahead of Richard Cooper. At the front, we think it's still Chianari, Byrne, Ellison, Walker. It is just.
I think it is. And this is the bit of the track, this is the Dingle Dell section, all in the woods here, and this is a section that for me, Shane Byrne has a definite advantage. It sort of swings and roundabouts now for Byrne and for Chianari.
Chianari then leads the way.
And you know, we talk about the track a lot, but this full circuit, especially the long bit in the woods that we're just coming out of now, it's so hemmed in with trees and barriers and all the rest of it that it's one of the... I know, it's beautiful, isn't it? How nice. I know, I've just seen you looking at Chianari's. It's just lovely.
His bike control, they've always said, his rivals have always said he's a pure natural rider.
But you know, to be able to do that, you need to be in such a place where it's so fine. What you're doing with your throttle and your body position and where the bike's going.
He lost his outside foot going through Druids.
He's pushing hard. I tell you what, what happened there is he lost the front. But to be doing what these guys, especially Chianari's doing on that bike, you're on such a knife edge. That's close to crashing on 3 corners we've seen now, honestly.
Chianari then laying it all on the line. He's back to his brilliant, absolutely blustering best. He comes down Pilgrim's Drop. Now we've got a line-up. Surely a possible overtaking opportunity for Shaky Byrne. Downhill into Hawthorns. He forces the Kawasaki underneath the BM. Yeah,
he's gone a little bit wide. I don't think that Chianari's going to have the P. He's got that. Honestly, do you know what's impressing me here? Just how much Chianari wants this. This is the race 2 at Knock Hill again, where he kept coming back and kept batting away and trying to win. This is brilliant.
And Ellison's winging it right with them as well. We've got the top 3 here, all lapping at 27.0.
I tell you what Ellison's doing, I can tell you. He's going, go on, have a go. He just wants them to get hooked up together, I'll tell you.
Ellison's the only man who's dropped beneath 27. He's just set a 26.989 lap.
Yeah, Gary Mason's out. He's dropped out. He's entered the pit. Unsuccessful comeback for Gary Mason.
So on to the final lap then. Chianari has the advantage at the moment. Can he make it stick? He knows he's going to come under red-hot threat from Shaky Byrne. 3rd for Ellison, 4th for Walker.
Yeah, and that just... you see, Shane Byrne was wide there, but he managed the damage there. He sort of limited the damage to not so much.
The race 2 fastest laps. This is how they would line up. Ellison will be on pole ahead of Byrne and Chianari.
Now it's Chianari that needs to get this corner right, because Byrne is definitely quicker out of this one. Look, he's going to get a drag on him. He's going to try and get under him. Now Chianari's got to be smart here. He has got to ride a little bit defensively. He's not doing. He's got it though. He's all right. You see his bike dip last, so he definitely put his brakes on last. It's this part of the track where Shane Byrne has to do it, because he ain't going to do it once they get to clearways.
Shaky Byrne is now round Westfield, down Dingle Dell. He's just got the Sheen curve ahead of him at the top of the hill. Here comes Chianari, build-based BMW. This would be extraordinary if he could do it again, but if Shaky's going to surely force the issue into clearways...
He's going to have a go, but I think that Chianari's going to be quick enough out of clearways to do it. I just think that Chianari might have this. Let's have a look. He's got it. I'm sure Keel's got it. He's got a lovely line round clearways. Look, very wide, cuts it back, and look at this. He's away now.
And it's across the line for his 2nd win in a fortnight for an absolutely elated Yuichi Chianari on the build-based BMW, ahead of Shaky Byrne, the pre-race favourite. Walker, Linfoot, Brooks, Jakob Smerts 7th. Johnny Hopkins tears across the line behind Richard Cooper, and he's grabbed 9th place from Stuart Easton. Howie Mainwaring smart. Peter Hickman having a strong ride on the RAF reserves on the book. Congratulations from a sporting Shaky Byrne to the rider on Stuart Hickens' team. What a performance by Chianari.
An indication of just how quick they were going. Fastest lap of the race, last lap Shane Byrne. The last lap of the race on the softest of the options of tyres.
126.751. Shaky it will be. Back on pole position. Forget what we told you before. What a race that was. I mentioned Peter Hickman's 12th place. Johnny Kirkham on the Halsall Kawasaki in 13th, ahead of Josh Waters on Taiko Suzuki. Patrick Muff on the Batham's BMW 15th. And remarkably, ladies and gentlemen, right outside the point scorers, James Whittam, Lee Bob Jackson, after that terrific ride in the Superstock, though the little lad from Lincolnshire's finished just outside the points in the Superbike debut.
Yeah, and he came from 23rd on lap 1. He worked really hard for that, did Lee Bob Jackson. Good run.
So, a stunning first race in the MCE Insurance British Superbike Championship in association with Pirelli here at the Brands Hatch Grand Prix circuit. Yuichi Kianari, could he become king of brands? He wins the first race ahead of Shaky Byrne and James Ellison. Chris Walker, a splendid fourth. Dan Linford at last cracks that top 5 in style for Quattro Plat Kawasaki. Happy birthday, John Murphy. At 6th place for Josh Brooks, Milwaukee Yamaha. 7th, Kuba Smirt came a long way through from a dismal start on the Ducati, ahead of Richard Cooper, always in the mix, John Hopkins, who came even further, and Stuart Easton 10th. 11th place for Howie Mainwaring Smart. Great to have him back on track and riding so strongly, ahead of Peter Hickman, John Kirkham, Josh Waters. A final point for Patrick Muff, ahead of Lee Jackson, Ben Wilson, Ian Hutchinson, John Ingram and Martin Jessup. The championship standings will have changed around a bit, especially with Tommy Bridewell's retirement. In fact, that's damaged Tommy Bridewell's top 6 showdown spot, rather. Shaky Byrne obviously has a good lead in the point scoring. James Ellison 2nd. Josh Brooks once again